After 15 years in the military, quiet meant something different to me than it did to most people. Quiet meant no sudden explosions, no midnight phone calls, no scanning rooftops out of instinct, just stillness. Oak Ridge Heights looked like the kind of place that sold stillness in neat little packages. Identical two-story homes, freshly cut lawns, white fences, smiling families walking golden retrievers at sunset. There was, of course, a homeowners association. The Oak Ridge Heights Residential Association, OHRA, liked to remind everyone that they existed to preserve community standards and property value. Their logo was printed on every letter, every email, every warning slip tucked under doors. I didn't pay much attention to them at first. Until the drone. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was in my backyard installing a wooden pergola over the patio. Nothing extravagant, just something simple where I could sit and read. Then I heard it. A faint mechanical buzzing. At first, I ignored it. Probably a kid's toy from down the street. But the sound didn't fade. It hovered. Slow. Steady. Intentional. I looked up. And there it was, a black quadcopter drone suspended about 20 feet above my yard. Not drifting. Not flying past. Hovering. Facing directly toward me. Its camera lens glinted in the sun. I felt that old military instinct kick in, the awareness of being observed. I stepped backward, eyes locked on it. The drone adjusted position. It moved to maintain its angle. That wasn't a toy. That was controlled. I walked toward the fence line and scanned the neighboring houses. Nothing obvious. No kid holding a controller. No laughter. Just the drone. Watching. 3 days later, I received an envelope with the OHRA logo stamped in blue. Inside was a formal notice. Dear Mr. Carter, it has come to our attention that unauthorized structural modifications are being made to your property at 148 Oak Ridge Lane. Please be advised that any exterior alterations require prior written approval from the Architectural Review Committee. Failure to comply may result in fines or further legal action. I stared at the letter. They mentioned the pergola. They even described its approximate dimensions. They knew the exact shade of wood stain I was using. I never submitted an application because I didn't know I had to. And suddenly I remembered the drone. I called the number listed on the letter. A woman answered. OHRA Administrative Office. This is Linda speaking. Yes, I said calmly. This is Daniel Carter from Oak Ridge Lane. I received a violation notice about a pergola. Yes, Mr. Carter. Our compliance team documented the structure last Saturday. Documented how? A pause. Routine inspection. By whom? Our compliance officer. I didn't see anyone enter my property. Another pause. Then, carefully, the association utilizes modern tools to ensure standards are upheld. Modern tools. I felt my jaw tighten. Are you using drones to inspect private property? Silence. Mr. Carter, all inspections are conducted within legal boundaries. That wasn't an answer. The next time the drone came, I was ready. I had installed 4 high-definition security cameras around my backyard after the first incident. Motion triggered. Cloud backed. At 6:42 p.m. on Thursday evening, the buzzing returned. This time it flew lower, 10 feet above the pergola, slowly circling. I stepped into frame deliberately. I looked straight at it. Get off my property, I said loudly. The drone dipped slightly, then rotated, as if acknowledging me. I felt anger rise in my chest. This wasn't about wood stain anymore. This was surveillance. I grabbed my phone and began recording. Today is May 12th, I said into the camera. The Oak Ridge Heights HOA is flying a drone over my fenced backyard without permission. The drone moved closer. 8 feet now. Its camera tilted downward toward my patio furniture, toward my back door, toward my bedroom windows. That crossed a line. I keep tools in a shed behind the house. One of them is a telescopic pool skimmer pole, lightweight aluminum, extends up to 12 feet. The drone descended lower. 5 feet. I don't know if the operator misjudged distance, or thought intimidation would make me comply. But when it hovered that low, inside my enclosed yard, I made a decision. I extended the pole. Waited. And when the drone adjusted position again, I swung. The pole struck one of the propellers. The drone jerked sideways, wobbling violently. Then it crashed. Hard. Right onto my patio stones. Plastic shattered. Propellers snapped. The buzzing died. The yard went silent. I stood there breathing heavily, staring at the broken machine. It felt surreal. Like swatting a mechanical insect that didn't belong. I didn't feel guilt. I felt violated. 2 weeks later, I was served. A uniformed process server knocked on my door and handed me a thick envelope. Oak Ridge Heights Residential Association versus Daniel Carter. They were suing me for destruction of association property interference with compliance operations, aggressive conduct. They demanded $8,500 for the drone, plus legal fees. But that wasn't the worst part. They attached still images. Photos of my backyard. Close-up images. Taken from above the fence line. Images of my patio, my grill, my sliding glass door inside my living room, visible through the window. My stomach dropped. They had been filming more than the pergola. They had been recording my home, and they attached those very images as evidence against me. I contacted a local attorney specializing in property disputes. Her name was Rebecca Lawson. When I showed her the printed photos, she leaned back slowly in her chair. They sent you this? Yes. Without thinking it was a problem? Yes. She studied one image closely. Daniel, this appears to be taken from inside your enclosed yard. That fence is 6 feet high. Correct. And that window, that's your living room. Yes. She exhaled. Do you have proof they flew the drone? I smiled slightly. I installed security cameras after the first visit. Her eyes sharpened. You have footage? Yes. Of the drone? Yes. And possibly of it looking through your windows? Yes. She leaned forward. Then they may have just handed us a counterclaim. The preliminary hearing was set for June. The HOA board arrived in full force. Their president, Harold Whitmore, walked in like he owned the courthouse. Retired banker. Perfect gray hair. Impeccable suit. He didn't look at me. Rebecca squeezed my shoulder lightly. Let them talk first, she whispered. Their attorney argued that the drone was operated within legal airspace. It never physically entered my home. It was conducting routine architectural verification. I acted recklessly and maliciously by destroying it. They painted me as unstable, aggressive, former military with anger issues. That last part made Rebecca's pen pause mid-note. Then it was our turn. She stood calmly. Your Honor, the defense would like to introduce video evidence. The judge nodded. Rebecca connected her laptop to the courtroom screen and pressed play. The first clip showed the drone hovering 20 feet above the yard. Normal. Then it descended. 10 feet. 5 feet. Crossing the fence line clearly. Entering my enclosed private space. The timestamp was visible. The audio captured my voice. Get off my property. The drone moved closer. Rebecca paused the video. Zoom in, she said. The footage magnified. You could see the camera tilt downward, directly toward my sliding door, toward the interior of my home. Then she played the next clip. A frame captured from a different angle. Clear as day. The drone hovered low enough that its camera lens aligned perfectly with my living room window. The judge leaned forward. Whitmore shifted in his seat. Rebecca spoke carefully. This was not a flyover. This was targeted surveillance. The courtroom was silent. Then she added, and if the association would like, we also have metadata logs showing repeated visits over a 3-week period. Whitmore's confident expression cracked. For the first time, he looked nervous. Because they hadn't just sued the wrong homeowner. They had sued someone who recorded everything. The courtroom didn't explode in drama. There was no shouting. No gasps. Just silence. The kind of silence that feels heavy, dangerous. The judge adjusted his glasses and looked directly at the HOA's attorney. Counselor, he said evenly, was the association aware this drone entered the defendant's enclosed backyard at that altitude? The attorney hesitated. That was the first crack. Whitmore, seated behind him, leaned forward and whispered something urgently. The attorney cleared his throat. Your Honor, the drone was operating in navigable airspace. Rebecca didn't miss a beat. At 5 feet above ground level inside a fenced yard. Another pause. The judge scribbled something on his notepad. I will not rule today, he said finally, but I strongly advise both parties to review the evidence presented. He looked directly at Whitmore. Carefully. Outside the courthouse, Whitmore approached me for the first time. Up close, he smelled faintly of cologne and entitlement. You could have handled this differently, he said quietly. I held his gaze. You could have stayed out of my backyard. His jaw tightened. You don't understand the position you're putting yourself in.
I almost laughed.
Oh, I understand perfectly. Rebecca stepped between us. All communication goes through counsel, she said sharply. Whitmore walked away without another word, but his confidence from earlier.
Gone.
Daniel, she said, voice focused. How many times did that drone appear before you destroyed it? At least 3 that I saw. And your cameras? They've been running continuously for weeks. There was a long pause. Check everything, she said. Not just motion alerts. Everything.
So, I did.
I sat in my office and pulled up the cloud archive. Day after day. Hour after hour. At first, nothing. The drone appeared above the fence line. Hovered. Moved laterally. Paused at my bedroom window. Then left. Again. This time it lingered longer. Same pattern. Systematic. Not random. They weren't just checking the pergola. They were studying my house. The more I reviewed, the worse it got. The drone wasn't only targeting me. My side camera captured it drifting beyond my property line into my neighbor's yard. The Wilsons. Retired couple. Quiet.
Kind.
The drone hovered over their pool area.
Zoomed in.
Held position. I felt anger rise again. This wasn't enforcement. This was surveillance. I called Rebecca immediately. You're not going to like this, I said. Tell me. They weren't just filming me. 2 days later, Rebecca filed a counterclaim. Invasion of privacy. Trespass. Harassment.
Lawful surveillance.
But she didn't stop there. She subpoenaed the HOA's drone operation logs. Maintenance records. Operator certifications. Data storage devices. And that's when the real panic began. One of my neighbors texted me that weekend. Did you see the board meeting notice? I hadn't. Emergency closed session, legal matter. Interesting. Word travels fast in neighborhoods like Oak Ridge Heights. By Monday, rumors were everywhere. The HOAs being sued. They were spying. They have footage of backyards. Most people didn't know details, but they knew enough. And fear spreads faster than facts. 2 weeks later, Rebecca received the HOA's discovery submission. She called me into her office. Her expression wasn't neutral this time. It was sharp.
Cold.
They turned over partial logs, she said. Partial. They're missing timestamps. Missing storage directories. That sounds intentional. It gets better. She turned her monitor toward me. A file directory. Hundreds of labeled video files. Each named by address.